Okay, so you're thinking about a career as a welding coordinator. We've got your stack of research right here, and let me tell you, this role catcher guide is seriously comprehensive.
Oh, yeah, it's impressive.
We're talking career paths, interview tricks, even a peek into their platform.
It's a lot to unpack.
It is. But first things first, you're not just welding all day in this role, are you?
Not quite. No, it's more about orchestrating the entire welding operation. Imagine being the conductor of an orchestra, but instead of instruments, you're coordinating welders, materials, schedules.
Okay, I'm liking the sound of that. And speaking of sounds, the guide doesn't shy away from the less harmonious aspects of the job, right?
Right, exactly. The guide is very upfront about the physical demands, the potential hazards, and even how, economic ups and downs can impact job stability.
Yeah, gotta keep it real.
It's about being realistic. Yeah, not just painting this rosy picture.
Refreshingly honest. But then they flip the script and highlight some pretty exciting advancement opportunities.
Yeah, for sure.
I was blown away by how quickly you can climb the ladder in this field.
Yeah, one of the example profiles, a guy named Marcus, went from entry-level coordinator to managing a team on a major infrastructure project in under 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah,
That's incredible. So you're saying there's real potential to move up the ranks if you put in the work.
absolutely. Yeah. And speaking of putting in the work, RoleCatcher dives deep into the skills you need to succeed. And it's not just about being a master welder. It's about leadership, communication, problem solving, that kind of thing.
Yeah, the leadership aspect really stood out to us. They even used the phrase social perceptiveness, which I thought
Yeah.
was interesting.
Yeah, it's about being able to read people, understand their strengths and weaknesses, and then motivate them to work together effectively. So you're responsible not just for the quality of the welds, but for the safety of your entire team.
Talk about pressure. They must have to stay updated on all the latest technologies too, right? New welding techniques, software, all that jazz.
Oh, absolutely. The guide emphasizes the need for continuous learning, attending workshops, getting certified in new welding processes, joining industry groups.
Staying ahead of the curve.
It's all about that, yeah.
They even suggest building a portfolio, which isn't something you typically associate with a welding career.
It's a good point. It's a way to showcase your experience and skills, especially in today's competitive job market.
Yeah.
Like, imagine being able to show a potential employer a digital portfolio of your most impressive welding projects.
That's a game changer.
Oh, yeah.
And it sounds like RoleCatcher is all about giving you the tools to stand out, not just the information.
Exactly. And they have a whole section on leveraging social media and networking to your advantage, which I found really interesting.
Okay, so you've got the skills, you're building your network, but then it's time to tackle the job market, which, let's be honest, can feel like a whole other beast.
Yeah, it can be intimidating.
And RoleCatcher knows it. They actually advise against relying solely on online applications.
Right.
They say it's just not enough anymore.
Yeah, it's true.
They even have a section called Beat the Automated Recruiter.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds a bit ominous, doesn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
Right.
But we're up against some kind of, robot gatekeeper.
Right.
But it's the reality now. Algorithms are often the first hurdle in the hiring process. But instead of letting that be intimidating, RoleCatcher breaks it down.
Okay.
They explain how to tailor your CV so it highlights the keywords and skills these systems are looking for.
So it's about working with the technology, not against it.
Exactly.
And get this, they actually encourage you to use their AI-powered tools to optimize your application.
Yeah, they do.
It's like they're giving you the cheat codes.
Kinda, yeah. It's
Yeah.
about being strategic and utilizing every resource available. And speaking of resources, let's talk about their interview prep. They don't just give you, generic advice. They delve into 10 common welding coordinator interview questions. And these are the real deal.
Yeah, these aren't your typical, tell me about your strengths and weaknesses questions. They get into the nitty-gritty of the role. I was particularly struck by the question about managing a welding project under a tight deadline
Uh-huh.
with unexpected material shortages.
Oh, wow.
That's a real-life scenario.
Oh, absolutely. That's a perfect example. It highlights the problem-solving and decision-making skills required in this role. You need to be able to think on your feet, adapt to changing circumstances, and still deliver results. They're really trying to assess if you can handle the heat, so to speak.
And speaking of heat, safety is another area they really hammered home throughout the guide.
Rightfully so.
Welding inherently involves risks. So as a coordinator, you're responsible not only for your own safety, but for the safety of your entire team.
Absolutely. And they go beyond the basics, too. They talk about proactively identifying potential hazards, not just reacting to them. They even mention this thing called a job safety analysis, or JSA.
That's a JSA.
Yeah, the JSA is a crucial tool for welding coordinators. It involves breaking down each welding task into its individual steps and identifying potential hazards at each stage. It's about being meticulous and proactive in preventing accidents before they happen.
Smart. They also stress the importance of staying current with industry standards and getting those all-important certifications.
Absolutely. They highlight a few key ones, like the Certified Welding Inspector, CWI,
Okay.
and the Certified Welding Supervisor, CWS.
Gotcha.
These certifications are like gold stars on your resume.
Yeah.
They demonstrate your commitment to professional development and signal to employers that you meet the highest industry standards.
And just to be clear, you don't have to get certified before you even apply for a coordinator role, right?
Not necessarily, no. The guide actually outlines how you can gain experience and work towards certifications while on the job. Many companies offer training programs and support for professional development.
That's good to know. So you've got the skills, the safety know-how, the certifications, what's next? Where do welding coordinators actually work?
Well, that's the exciting part, right?
Okay.
It's not just one industry. It's incredibly diverse. We're talking manufacturing, construction, automotive, energy, you name it.
Wow. It's like this role opens doors to a whole world of industries. You could be working on anything from pipelines to bridges to spaceships.
That's right.
Don't forget about underwater welding.
Oh, yeah.
That's a whole other level of skill and complexity.
Absolutely.
Now that you mention it, they did touch on underwater welding in the guide.
Yeah, they did.
They said it's one of the most demanding but also most rewarding areas for welding coordinators.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It requires a unique set of skills and a whole other level of safety awareness. Imagine being responsible for coordinating a team of welders working hundreds of feet below sea level.
Intense.
The pressure is immense, both literally and figuratively.
Talk about a high-stakes environment. But that's what makes this whole exploration so fascinating. There are so many different paths you could take within this one career.
And that's what RoleCatcher wants you to understand, right? They're not just presenting you with a job description. They're opening your eyes to a whole world of possibilities within the welding industry.
It's about finding your niche, your passion within this vast field. And that brings us back to you in this deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
From the essential skills and responsibilities to the importance of safety and continuous learning. We've even explored the diverse industries and unique specializations within the welding world. But here's the million-dollar question. What resonates most with you from all of this?
Right. That's the exciting part. This deep dive has given you a solid foundation, but now it's about applying that knowledge to your specific situation. With just starting out and eager to break into the field, or are you already a skilled welder looking to level up your career?
Yeah, the guide even touched on the fact that some companies prefer to promote from within, so if you're already in a welding environment, that could be a huge advantage.
Exactly. And that's where those networking skills come into play. Start building relationships with the welding coordinators in your company. Ask them about their career path, what challenges they face, what advice they would give to someone aspiring to their position.
It's like they said in the guide. The best way to learn about a career is to talk to the people living it. And who knows, those conversations might even lead to mentorship opportunities or insider information about open positions.
Precisely. It's about being proactive and creating your own luck. And speaking of luck, remember that Marcus from the guide, the one who became a project lead in 5 years?
Yeah.
Well, he landed his first welding coordinator job because he impressed the hiring manager with his knowledge of a specific welding code. He'd gone the extra mile to get certified in it, even though it wasn't required for his previous role.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Those extra efforts, those little things that set you apart, they can make all the difference. It's like they say, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
You've got the knowledge, you've got the resources now to go out there and weld your own future.
Weld your own future. I love it.
And remember, this deep dive was just the spark. Now it's up to you to keep that fire burning. Explore those specializations that piqued your interest, connect with people in the industry, and never stop learning. Who knows, maybe in a few years, you'll be the one inspiring the next generation of welding coordinators.
Now that's something to aspire to.